So this is the first major smartphone release of the year. It's the Honor View 20 and it's also the first smartphone to adopt the hole punch under-screen front-facing camera. But is it any good? Let's take a look. So my friends, this is the Honor View 20 and the model that I've gone for is the £499.99, 6GB of RAM, 128GB storage, sapphire blue dual SIM. Now it's important to tell you that I've purchased this phone with my hard-earned money and everything I say in this review will be based on my own personal thoughts. This is not a sponsored video. Okay, so before we go into the review, let's look at what you get inside the box. And we were really pleasantly surprised because not only obviously do you get the phone and the cable, but you actually get this, which is a nice plastic carry case, and you also get the Huawei supercharger, which I'll come on to a little bit later. Right, let's get into the review. So you may not think it, but the Honor View 20 is a really big deal. Now, it hasn't got the biggest screen, the best specs, and in my opinion it's not even the best looking phone out there, but the Honor View 20 really points the way to the future, and we finally see a leading brand, the subdivision of Huawei, lose the notch and adopt a hole punch style edge-to-edge display. It has the under-screen front-facing selfie camera. Now, we all know that imitation is the highest form of flattery, and in 2019 I am absolutely convinced that we'll see others follow suit and do something very similar. So the build quality is really pleasing, there are no concerns at all, and the most obvious new feature is the front all-view display. The 6.4-inch screen with just the smallest little hole punch or cutout housing the underscreen selfie camera is a delight and a real leap away from the often unpopular notch style that most brands adopted in 2017 and 2018. The remaining sensors have been moved away from the front and are now housed either on the rear or on the top side. So a simple yet striking and very unique design element is the almost holographic V effect on the rear, which I think looks absolutely stunning. It's definitely very subtle, but I promise you, you'll find yourself moving the phone into all sorts of peculiar patterns just to see this almost 3D effect. It's very hypnotic. The front and back are made of glass panels and the edge is metal, which makes perfect sense and is also very pleasing on the eye. Now, another strange and very rare feature nowadays is the adoption of a headphone jack. Now, this will certainly please all of those die-hard 3.5mm cable fans out there. Now, the display is definitely more mid-range, and this reflects in the price, with an uninspiring yet not disappointing 2310 by 1080 resolution. It's an LCD screen, again, as you would expect at this price range. And although we found it to be bright and vivid, it definitely wasn't as crisp as some of the higher resolution OLED displays out there. Now, I am being really picky, and most users will be more than happy with the bright display and will absolutely love the lack of notch and the extra real estate that this gives you. The hole is still in the line of the notification bar and not completely unnoticeable, but it is definitely a marked improvement. And when watching movies or playing games, it soon became almost invisible, which I guess is what Honor were hoping. Now, the tech specs beneath the display are also very impressive for the price. There's a 6GB of RAM or 8GB of RAM model. The 8GB of RAM comes with 256GB of flash storage, and the 6GB model comes with 128GB. There's an AI-enabled Kirin 980 chipset, and this has dual-core NPU. Now, obviously, the other notable feature under the hood is the world's first under-screen 25-megapixel camera. So, with its USB-C Type-C connection, the 4000 mAh battery offers supercharge, and this gives as much as 50% charge in as little as 30 minutes. And a full charge has been tested by Honor to deliver 130 hours music playback, 15 hours of video playback, and 25 hours of 3G calls. There's a built-in liquid cooling system, which is designed to give guaranteed sustained peak gaming performance. Now, you're also unlikely to suffer the infamous antenna gate issues of previous smartphones, as the Honor View 20 has a triple antenna Wi-Fi, which means no matter how you hold the device, a strong Wi-Fi signal will be maintained. It also features dual frequency GPS, which means you'll get more accurate positioning, especially useful in built-up urban areas. Now, my friends, on to the all-important camera section. The already mentioned world's first under-screen front camera is 25 megapixels, and in standard modes it delivers, I feel, the best performance. Now, you can play around with the software, with the lighting and the beauty effects, but these can end up delivering some unnatural results. The rear-facing camera is the first 48 megapixel sensor on any smartphone. Now, this translates to 8000 by 6000 pixels, the highest on any phone ever. And although it is just a single lens on the back, this is superb, with an aperture of f1.8. You'll get some amazing results. Now, other features include Huawei's excellent night mode, 3D sensor, and artificial intelligence stabilization. All of these add up to produce a photographic experience that would warrant a far higher price point. Now, having a lens which captures 48 megapixels means that you don't actually need the second focal length, because you've got the ability to zoom in really close and crop where you want to. So with so many features which we haven't even touched on, we're going to be doing a standalone video which is going to be a full review of the camera, how it performs both video and also for photographs. But to give you an idea, we took the dog out on a very windy and blustery day and took a couple of shots, and I think they came out really well. This was the first. As you can see, the balance of colours is really good, and if you zoom right in, there's loads and loads of detail. And also, just to give you a very quick shot of some video coverage, this is obviously downgraded to 1080 because this video is in 1080, and also slow-mo was really good, but we're going to be testing all of these features later, and we'll be including things like night photography as well, so make sure you hit the red button and subscribe because that video will be coming very soon. And obviously, when you're viewing photographs on the device, having that hole punch camera really does mean that you get to see the whole of the image, and it's very, very clear, and you're not getting that cutout that you would do with a notch. This runs Android 9 with Honor's Magic UI 2.0 over the top, which works really well, is smooth and consistent. Now, being so related to Huawei, you'll definitely notice similarities to their EMUI 9. However, we understand that future updates are likely to reduce that similarity and make the Honor's UI definitely more autonomous. Now we're going to have a look at some Geekbench scores and see how this compares to some others in a similar price point. So when looking at performance, you really need to consider it against the price. And with Geekbench, you can look at their rating from price versus performance. And you'll see that the Honor View 20 brings incredible performance and does extremely well and ranks well above typical value-oriented phones such as the OnePlus 6T, let alone even high-end phones like the Galaxy S9 and of course the Apple XS. In fact, there's only one phone which is above it, and that's the Xiaomi Pocophone F1, and that's because of the ultra low price that came in at $315, and obviously they had to compromise heavily on the camera for that phone, whereas the Honor View 20 has got an incredible camera. So my preference would be the Honor View 20 by a long distance. So you can be rest assured you're getting exceptional quality and incredible performance. So what a way to start the year, not only for our first smartphone review of 2019, but this is a real contender and it delivers on multiple fronts. The lack of the notch, the edge-to-edge display, the unique rear design, and that 48 megapixel camera. And in the UK, you get a 2-year warranty. All of these are brilliant positives. Now, the negatives are just very few, and again, we're just being picky. Some people may not love the Magic UI interface, but hopefully this will improve in time. And certainly there are so many positives that make this a real contender for your choice, and a definite recommendation if you're in the £500 market. Now, we'll update you on potential US release dates as we get them, but make sure you subscribe for all the 2019 smartphones reviewed as they become available this year. Thanks for watching this video, my friends, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.